Probably describe this year as strange would be a good way to sum it up.
A great experience in the circumstances of 2020.
We didn't play cricket for the first 3 months. Everything happened really quickly, went into lockdown. Yeah, I suppose everyone had a bit of their identity taken away at some point.
Different challenges, that we weren't used to in the past. So you could have, you sort of created your own energy, your own, how you would go about a different year.
Very grateful to play some cricket, and we've just had to be flexible, and I would say it's been a different year for everyone, not just us involved in cricket, but everyone in the world.
As a squad, we really stuck together, helped each other out, and got through what was a tough year.
Humbling. I just think we learned a lot about ourselves as a club. I think we learned a lot about the people that support us. And I think it was overwhelming that so many people at such a difficult point in their lives, still chose to support us in the way they did, and you made you appreciate, I think, what we've got as a club, the family that's around us, and the amazing people that support us on a daily basis.
Against Bowles. Shout for leg before given!
There he goes again, man on the fence, tremendous catch. Swan next side, it's past the fielder, and the Gloucesters have won it.
What I was looking forward to really was just getting going. Ambitions were high, expectations were probably even higher in some respects.
You finish the season in 2019 and you get promoted to Division 1. And we'd worked really hard over probably a 2 or 3 year period of really giving that a fair crack, whilst also still trying to perform well in other competitions like the T20 and 50 over. And then once you do get promoted, you start planning, or as a coach in a coaching team, you then start planning for Division 1 cricket. It's going to be tougher, it's going to be a bigger challenge.
For a long time, certainly since I've been at the club for the last 7.5 years, there's been a lot around, it's a young side, it's a developing side, and I think 2020 and now 2021 was our chance to break that image of us, because actually we've got a lot of players at the peak of their careers now, their late 20s, early 30s, all still getting better, which is great, but and some youngsters coming through too. So I think we were ready to break those shackles of the developing club, Little Gloucestershire, and actually become the club we are, which is a incredibly competitive, first division club. So we were just really looking forward to get the season underway, and clearly we were playing some really good cricket in 2019 and just itching to get going. So to be able to kick on from there was our ambition, and like everybody, that was cut slightly short. So we started the season, obviously we said high hopes and expectations and ambitions, and then suddenly when the pandemic hit, we were all very nervous across the game in general as to what it might mean for us. Instantly, the minute we knew we weren't going to get cricket of any format, we had to put a lot of plans on hold, so all of our 150th anniversary plans went out the window pretty quickly, or at least put on hold till the following year. And certainly from a playing squad point of view, everything changed overnight.
Hearing that the cricket season was going to happen was obviously a tough one, because we'd had such a good year the year before, lots of highs, and we were all excited to get back and get playing, and when it was a bit up in the air, and it was obviously disappointing, and the not knowing was probably the hardest part, not knowing when we might start, whether we would start. I think that was the toughest part.
So there were a lot of questions going on which no one had any answers to, and you had to think on your feet pretty rapidly. So you were putting plans in place which could have got ripped up within a day, half a day. So you were always just trying to find solutions to problems. But a lot of the problems that we had, no one in the country knew how to deal with it.
We were learning about new ways to deliver cricket, and everyone had a lot to learn very quickly, and it was a significant point of challenge for us. I'm very proud of the way we came through it and the way everyone handled it, but it was definitely a big change and a big challenge for us.
So we went through that period of not knowing to then, okay, we've now started to have discussions with the ECB about, there should be some cricket. And then it was, okay, we might be able to play 4-day cricket. And then it's going to be a conference style competition. So From that moment of, yeah, you are going to play cricket, and then you're working back, okay, when are we starting? How long do we have to prep for? I think we only had 3.5 weeks of preparation time, which was a challenge.
As a group, we did well. We helped each other, we trained a lot, we kept ourselves fit and healthy. And I think when it did come to getting the nod that we were going to play some cricket, we were all ready to go, which I think shows a lot of character as a group and a lot of, drive from us to stay fit.
Like they always say in cricket, you can control the controllables, and at the end of the day, I thought we'd done a fantastic job with the circumstances we had.
So I don't think I can actually remember the day when someone turned around to me and said cricket was back on. We started off with a huge amount of paperwork that suddenly hit us, a lot of questions about how ready were we as a club physically to adapt our facilities, and just a lot of stuff like that. But the news was very welcome.
It's obviously it was really exciting to get back and see everyone. We spend a lot of time together throughout the season and the winter, and to not see people was tough. But when we got back and we could see everyone and get back going, we were all excited just to have any cricket to play. I know it was obviously a different format to what we were expecting, but to get back and do what we love doing and we do so much was a relief.
Has got going and he's striking the ball crisply, and that's another finely timed shot.
When I first saw that we were going to play the Bob Willis Trophy, I was excited. It was a new format to what we played before. Obviously we weren't overly sure whether we were going to play any cricket at all, any red ball cricket. So to see that the Bob Willis Trophy was happening, that was a great relief.
We were going to play first division teams, so Somerset as an example, Warwickshire, and it was a great time to get a benchmark about how we performed against those first division teams. That was the important thing for this year. If we were going to take anything out of it, it was, okay, where do we stand if in 2021 we go back to Div 1 and Div 2? We played some really good cricket against Warwickshire here, which we won.
Yeah, so the Warwickshire game was obviously a special one. We played good cricket for the whole game, and then when it came to that last day, it was obviously a tight last day, and I think the character we showed as a team against such a strong batting lineup as they had was really impressive. And I think obviously the stuff that Higgy did that last day was incredible.
Yeah, the game against Warwickshire was a good game for me, and I did perform well. It wasn't to do with the fact that it was a Division 1 team and I wanted to prove something. I want to prove something every time I'm on a cricket field. I think just the way the game ended up being, it was quite a fiery game, probably suited the way I play, quite an aggressive game, and I think it just brought something out of me which I really liked. But at the same time, it was just my day to get wickets. But yeah, Division 1, Division 2, I personally, I think it is probably a higher standard of cricket, but I don't think it makes a difference to how you want to perform.
It's been extremely exciting. So Higgins to bowl. And Hanadobi, has he got the nick on that? He's gone! That's it, Gloucestershire have won!
We showed that we can win if we're on it, but as soon as you're not on it against those first division teams, it can really bite you. The Somerset Red Bull game was obviously a big eye-opener.
Turned us over down at Taunton, and they showed us what a top team can do in Division 1 cricket.
It showed us a few things. Firstly, how good a side they are. Obviously they're a rival side and we'd love to beat them. And that's what we obviously went into the game trying to do. But they did show us what a great Red Bull side they are, and how we need to really improve if we're going to really fight at that level. I think the fact that we had that great win against Warwickshire and we also had the real tough game against Somerset gives us things to work on, but also positives to take from the season.
The Bob Willis served a purpose. I know it was only a really shortened tournament, but it gave us some real key things that we can focus on leading into next year.
The Gloucester North game was obviously unique to cricket this year in terms of the 4-day match and that getting cancelled or called off on the first day. Effectively, we went into the match, as did Northants, thinking that the game was all good to go over the 4 days. Over the course of the day, I think it came to light that one of the Northants players, although not part of the squad that had come to Bristol, had contracted COVID, sadly tested positive for it, and then it transpired over a period of the first couple of hours of the morning session that player had possibly come or had been in contact with other players who had travelled to Bristol. By lunchtime, we were having conference calls with very senior stakeholders at the ECB, just working out what to do. And I think the decision to abandon the game certainly not taken lightly by any party involved. And I know that the players would have, obviously they're here to play cricket. They would love to have carried on playing. But at that point in time, we just didn't know. And with 2 or 3 players potentially being cause for concern, we thought it was just appropriate to abandon the game. But it was very much a sort of 3-4-way conversation between ourselves, Northants, ECB, and even the PCA had a certain awareness of it too.
To take it, that decision was a brave decision, I think, because it could have been very easy to just say, well, we'll carry the game on. But actually, the decision got made to say, okay, well, we've got to look after the safety of people ahead of just putting on a game of cricket. And I think the decision was made. I think everyone respected that. Well, I know everyone respected that. Yeah, you move on from that very quickly, because before you know it, you're back into T20 cricket, because that was the last game of the 4-day tournament.
He rattles through the overs, Van Buren. Top edged. Oh, that's a good catch.
The lads know that when they play well, they're a good T20 side. You don't get to 3 or 4 quarterfinals in 5 years or 4 years or whatever it is and not be a decent T20 side. I'm not saying world beaters, but you've got to be playing some decent cricket. That's not a fluke.
I felt like initially the first game, obviously not going to plan, Glamorgan at home, we didn't play so well. I was pretty nervous and down and wondered how the season was going to pan out. Obviously, we've been quite successful in getting to knockouts the previous few years. We got on a roll. The boys were playing fantastically well. Tried to instill real clarity of roles for, all of the squad. And I think it panned out nicely. We won, I think, 6 in a row and qualified early. The second game we played against Somerset here, obviously going down to the wire to the last ball, Tom Smith being out there, we backed him in.
I went out to bat. I think there was 7 balls remaining. I was at the non-strikers end. Benny Howe was on strike. And, Benny gave it a good go, got a couple of boundaries, I think, from memory. And then I found myself on strike for the last ball, needing 3 runs. I actually felt really calm in the situation. I knew certainly where I was going to hit it. I was going to hit it to the leg side, wherever the ball was going. So I wasn't really interested in where the fielders were. And yeah, luckily enough, it hit the middle of my bat and went for 4. But for me, the emotion of it was just seeing how happy it made everyone. And I hadn't had the major role that Coey had with the bat and those sorts of things, but just seeing as a group just how happy we were to get over the line and to get that quarter-final.
He's so calm under pressure. He does it with the ball every game, week in, week out. And it was so pleasing for him to hit the winning runs for us and get that win and send Somerset out, which was very sweet.
I'd reflected on getting to 3 quarterfinals before. I questioned myself whether I changed as a coach and built up a quarterfinal more than I should have done in the past. So I think that this year we took it as another day. Kept on coming back to the conversations we'd had in lockdown, which was all my players wanted to just get back to playing cricket. If we win that, we get an extra day of cricket and the season carries on going.
Oh, Higgins again, over mid-off 4 more. Higgins trying to complete the massacre here for Gloucestershire.
The day we got through to the final day, I suppose I was thinking while I was out there that I need to finish it a bit, quickly. Me and Coey were out there speaking about what I could do to do that, and they bought their leg side field in. So I decided I would try and slog sweep as much as I could, and then for the last one to get us over the line, I thought he's probably going to try and bowl something a bit different, maybe change his lineup. So I thought I'd run down, and that seemed to work quite well. Got the ball away, and then just felt pretty happy about getting through to the finals day.
We got to finals day. That was interesting. I'd never been to finals day as a coach, so in reflection I'll probably look back and think about things that I could have done differently with my coaching team. But that was very different as well. It was raining on day one, and there was a lot of uncertainty of what was going on. Were we going to play a Wednesday, another spare day on top of that? Were we going to turn up? How long was the game going to be?
We just knew it was sort of inevitable that there was going to be a lot of rain around, and so it sort of, I suppose, in a way, was a bit of bit of an anticlimax in the end.
To get to our first finals day for 13 years, it was such a sweet feeling. Obviously disappointing with how that panned out, but to get to that, we're pretty proud of what we've done. No overseas players this year, just a bunch of us working as a team, everyone playing to their roles and doing the job. And I think we've had a taste of it now. We're not just going to accept that. Next year, we're going to go out with the ambition to win it, not just to make the knockouts. I think obviously that's in the process, but we've got to have that ambition. I know we've got the team to do it, we've got the squad. The boys want to do it, so that's really on the cards for next year. We've just got to put that into play now.
The good thing this year was we didn't add anything else to it. We didn't change anything. We were enjoying it. It just so happened that we were playing some very good T20 cricket as well. Certain players were playing unbelievably well, which was brilliant. Yeah, it was just really enjoyable to be part of.
Obviously, years before we'd had a couple overseas who were very strong overseas for us. Obviously, AJ and Maxi who were very good for us in the T20s. Whereas this year, obviously not having that experience, I think it just felt like everyone chipped in their time, and it felt like a real team effort. Each game there was a different person standing up and performing, whether with the bat, ball in the field, and just that team ethic felt really strong this year.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, I'd gone a long period of time without playing any competitive games, so coming back here, I was absolutely buzzing to just get out there. I really missed the dressing room here. I think it's a really unique setup we've got. It's a really close-knit bunch.
I think from lockdown, fearing that there may be no cricket season at all, to then going out there and having such a good tournament and then going into finals day, every moment I just really appreciated. I guess a lot of us had in the back of our mind that if there was a few COVID cases that the season could well be over, so each game did become a bit of a cup final and it could be your last. And I think I certainly had that mentality throughout the tournament, that I just wanted to enjoy every moment.
Look, I think we've got to really appreciate, and we do appreciate the work that went into getting us back playing, right the way from the board, all of the members and our fans and the backroom staff, just to get us out there. We were so grateful, and the fact that we could put on a bit of a show was great too, and we're just hoping that we can, pay that back by winning it next year and going on to better things.
I'm increasingly feeling, and maybe I can be a bit too glass half full sometimes, but optimistic about 2021 on lots of levels. And we are planning for a full season of competitive cricket, and we will have Western Storm playing cricket, we will have Gloucestershire playing cricket, and we will have crowds in to allow people to watch that cricket, and I'm entirely confident that'll be the case. You can bring together so much stuff that is off the field as well, so you can actually show your members and your supporters, what you've achieved, and that can be a lot of the strategic stuff we've been trying to do about, our environmental endeavours. It can be, how the team has developed, new players that might have joined the squad, but it's also how the ground's changed. We spent a lot of time and effort sort of getting things like the new Thatcher's bar ready, and it's just always exciting when people walk through the gate and they're excited about watching the heroes play cricket. But also you can see their faces, they see, well, that's changed and that's a bit different, and just trying to second guess the conversations you're going to have with people over the course of the day.
Obviously next year, again, it's not First Division cricket, but again, we get to challenge ourselves against some very good First Division teams, and I think that we can learn from last year and show that we've improved. And I personally would really like to see us stand up in that red ball competition we're playing in and show that we've improved from last year.
I think we can win the Blast. I think we've got the squad of players. Keeping hold of some of our key players as well is really good, and I think it's an ambitious group. I think we've definitely got it in us. We've put in a lot of performances this year where not just the teams around us, but teams all over the country have stood up and gone, wow, like they've got some proper cricketers.
2020 season was hugely positive for the club. I think achieving what we did and to play the brand of cricket that we did was amazing. You know, we can only improve. We're going to add 2 overseas players, which will make us even stronger. I think every individual in that group wants to be better, wants to improve.
It's going to be really exciting to see fans back and let them as much enjoy the game again.
We just want that feeling of playing in front of fans again, and you know, people turning up here and us putting on a show. And I think if we can play good cricket like we did this year, that will hopefully be the case in the coming season.
There's lots to be excited about. I think we weathered the storm well. You may argue, I think, you know, we're in the foothills potentially of the problem. We're not all the way through it yet, but I think we'll come out of this well, and we've got an opportunity to actually move ahead, I think, in terms of the cricket we play.